Hello, friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we talk about manipulation and disinformation of the Russian media, Europe as a convenient enemy. The Vladivostok Eastern Economic Forum, which the hosts of the program Big Game talked about with pathos, once again became an arena for demonstrating the Kremlin's geopolitical fantasies. Russia, according to Putin and his mouthpieces, does not turn anywhere, but is supposedly naturally present everywhere, in the east, west, south and north. Europe in this narrative is depicted as nothing more than a secondary passenger in the global process, deprived of will, deprived of a future, doomed to become a wagon, dragging behind the locomotive of Moscow and Beijing. This image is presented to millions of Russians as a new truth. And this is not just a television entourage, it is an ideological attempt to convince the population. Europe has lost, Europe is isolated, Europe is tired. Europe as a target and a backdrop. In the studio of the Big Game, they say that any attempt to send Western troops to Ukraine will turn them into legitimate targets. The rhetoric is straightforward, brutal, and deliberately threatening. Such statements work as an instrument of psychological pressure. That is, the result of the attempt to isolate Russia was the isolation of Europe itself. This is a very understandable change in trend, because in fact the fact that Russia is restoring Soviet capital, which was based on good relations, mutual trust, awareness of mutual interests with a huge number of Asian countries, is precisely a return, firstly, to a very understandable system of coordinates, a very successful system of coordinates, because the Soviet Union had heroic, interesting and profitable episodes connected with Asia, and they were very well implemented. And the restoration of balance, which will now be based not only on the Western-Eastern vector, but also in the South, that is, on 3 points of support, is probably the most reliable of those possible structures. But they said that there are some military contingents there. They are ready to send as many as 26 countries. One way or another, they are ready to participate in this matter. And here is what Putin said about possible Western contingents in Ukraine. As for possible military contingents in Ukraine, this is one of the primary reasons for drawing Ukraine into NATO. Therefore, if some troops appear there, especially now, during military operations, we proceed from the fact that these will be legitimate targets.